This is the way it went with Gilda. We knew ahead of time that it was coming. In the cave, about 3:30 in the morning, Greg heard on the radio that the typhoon was aiming directly at Rota and had winds of 120 knots with gusts to 160 knots. In the morning, we started getting intense winds. We could just see leaves flying all over the place. It just got more and more and more. I think the eye passed over about 11:30. It grew very calm. It was calm for about half an hour. Greg went out all the way out to our house, and the kitchen was completely demolished, but the house was still standing. So after the eye, the winds were much worse. Even in the cave, we had to sit huddled with the children inside.
I am reading from page 2 of my November 13, 1967 letter to my parents. This was written during the 3 days we were sheltered in the cave during Typhoon Gilda on Rota. From the cave, we can see most of the houses destroyed and many lots just vacant. Our house is hard to describe. The kitchen is demolished sideways, upside down. The rest of the house moved about 3 feet off its pilings and has fallen over. It looks almost like a fun house at an amusement park. I do not know yet what shape our things are in, or will be in after all the rain. All the buildings around ours are gone. It is really not so bad for us, because we are just 2 people, and this is not our whole life and farm, with everything gone.
All day we haven't had any chance to really think about exactly what we're going to do now. We have it in our minds to build a new house for ourselves, to get the materials and do this. I guess we'll try to get going on it this week. Right now we feel what we're doing is more important than that. The Peace Corps man said that our home was more important than anything. We were even supposed to not teach in order to work on that, but we just couldn't get started on it right away. There isn't anything to do. I mean, you can't start building a home when you don't have anything to build it with. So supplies, and out here, it's not that you don't have the money to buy something, it's just that it isn't here. So maybe I think they're bringing materials in today that we can buy up to $250 worth. It's under an aid program. We're not positive we're eligible, or if how the man whose house we're in, renting, will get it. Hello, today is December 2nd. Things are getting back to normal here. People are building, and the town, lots of green leaves. It's amazing. From 3 weeks ago, when everything was just bare, we now have a great deal of greenery around. It's really nice to see. Greg and I have finally got our plans pretty much underway. For the past 3 or 4 days, the director of the Peace Corps in the Marianas has been here with an architect and with the new volunteers that are going to be stationed here, and we've gone over our plans. The architect has made up plans for a house, and we've made arrangements for a pretty lot on the beach. Materials are supposed to start coming Monday, and we're going to start building. We'll draw a sketch of the house to send to you. We're really happy. It's going to be nice, and we hope to get it done before too long. Once we get started and get the materials, we don't think it'll be very bad at all. So that our plans are looking up.
I wrote this letter to my parents and brother Saturday, December 23rd, 1967, saying, "We are overworking on our house. We finally got some materials to start with yesterday, so today we are pouring the cement for the foundation. The materials we ordered in Guam were not put on the boat that we asked them to be put on, or the next one. We have had no reply to our messages sent. I guess we may have to go again, although right now we think we shall just cancel the order. It is so frustrating to not be able to depend on anyone. They never say no, but often they just don't do it, or they do it next month. We've gotten used to this in the people, but not in the stores on Guam. I guess Americans expect service from a store. I wrote this letter to my parents December 27, 1967. You can see here in this letter, this is the plan we made. We decided not to follow what the architect designed, so this is all our own. The patio will be covered, and we shall plan on rain coming in on the porch, so it will be quite open. Few houses here are open. People are afraid of the spirits. We've not decided exactly how the inside will go. We plan on a part wood and a part brick floor put over the cement. There are millions of bricks in the old sugar factory.
I don't always help so much around here, but I feel like I ought to be here. You know, some of the building things. A lot of times I'm just handing people things and or something, but I feel like, you know, I should be here to help. And a lot of times it's just cooking food for the men. You know, I've told you people here live on rice, and Maggie and Joaquin's, we just ate rice 3 times a day, and, you know, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And so if I cooked for some people that would be helping us, I made rice and something, rice and meat or rice and whatever I happened to have to feed them. This was, you know, part of the custom here. In fact, people would cook and bring food down to help me. Well, Greg banged his thumb and went up to the hospital to have it bandaged, and then he was putting the sealer on the roof. The tin meets at a peak, and he had to put a piece of tin along the top, and then he went to return a truck that he borrowed and said he'd have a few beers and then he'd come on home, I guess. So I've been doing the washing, which is kind of complicated. We don't have water really hooked up yet, but we have a tap on the water line. We had a man help us, a carpenter, with you know, some of the things. We've never built a house before, of course, so there's lots that you don't know and that a carpenter can do much more quickly and efficiently without all the mistakes. But now it really looks good, and it's very sound, and I don't know that I've been so much help, but you know, I try to do things. Now that we've got places to work, I can spend more time doing things. Right now we don't have water or electricity really yet. We have a cord going to another house, and we do have a valve on the pipeline which goes right in front of our house, so we go out there to get water. But this is more than we had in trucks, so it doesn't bother us in the least. We enjoyed very much the experience of living with the Chamorro family, and of course we were there for 2 months, and they were a very nice family. But there are cultural differences, and it's the things that we just, you know, we're not going to become completely like the people here. It would be against our very nature, some of the things that they feel that we don't feel. And this made it kind of difficult from time to time. I believe I mentioned to you about the husband feeling that I should be home with his wife all the time. Even, you know, we explained to him that I had other obligations. You know, being a Peace Corps volunteer, I wasn't expected to do just teaching. This had some complications in it, and their fear of spirits, Tau Mona, when they would wake me up at night so I wouldn't be alone in the house or something, which didn't make a particle of difference to me. We know that you have all this snow. I have to admit that we are really very comfortable. The weather is just very, very comfortable, and where our house is now, we've got a breeze all the time, and as soon as we get a ceiling, we're even going to be cold. In fact, the Chamorros have told us that our house is very cold. You know, it's Maninghing, which means cold, and we really enjoy it. But it's very, very fresh, and we're really very comfortable, and I like having it like this. I really can't say I miss some things about the snow, but it's nice to see the water and go swimming every day if we want. And now that we're right on the water, we'll go swimming a lot more and fishing more too, I think. It's January 16th, and I am sitting in our new home, looking at the view and very comfortably making this tape. We have been in our home about 3 days now. We moved in when it was, well, just barely finished. We had the tin roof up and 3 walls. Now we have continued the walling around with screening, and we are now working on making a door, and we hope to put a ceiling in. It still looks like we're living in something being built, but we're very happy to be in our own place and able to do what we want again. But now we can go to sleep when we want, and I don't feel self-conscious reading or writing, which, boy, it's nice to have our own place. And despite how chaotic it is and how chaotic our living is, we try to work a little bit each afternoon trying to get things done. We're always banging hands and stepping on nails and things, but we're keeping pretty healthy. It's a real enjoyable kind of work, sort of building your own home. We still haven't received the materials that we got ordered in Guam before Christmas. We've borrowed materials from people here and from the government and hope to, substitute them with what comes, if it ever comes. It's so frustrating. You have these boats come in and nothing's on it, or the boat doesn't arrive. It's January 18th, and we are living in our house now. It's a Thursday. Greg's busily making shelves to go in our bedroom. We moved in just about a week ago, I guess. It really wasn't finished yet. We had the ceiling up and the most of the walling up. Since then, we've gotten quite a bit done, although there's still a lot more to do. We need to make doors and shutters and put in a ceiling and more shelves and such, but we really enjoy living here now. We've got a beautiful view of the ocean all the time, and it gives us a great deal of pleasure just to sit and look at it and watch it. It's always beautiful, it seems, even when it's raining. And we have a nice breeze that comes off the water that makes it quite cool. It'll be even cooler when we get our ceiling in, and the sun won't radiate through the tin that we have for our roof. We are living at the end of a street where the next to last house is one house further down on it. We seem to have very nice neighbors, and we're not very far from the school. It takes us about 5 minutes to walk to school. We have bicycles now, too, that were provided by the Peace Corps, so that we can ride our bicycles, and it doesn't take us very long at all to get there. Today is January 31st, but we're both fine. We're right now under our mosquito net on our mat, just about to go to sleep. We've just finished putting a sink and a counter in our kitchen, or Greg has mostly.
Not all in one day.
Well, no, not. It's taken us quite a while. Of course, the fittings for the sink didn't fit that were sent, and there were a lot of problems. But finally, we have a sink, which is very, very nice.
It's Friday, February 23rd. As far as news goes, we're coming along little by little with our house. We had Washington's birthday off yesterday, and we managed to get 2 4x8 pieces of plywood up for our ceiling. And so it's a hard job, but I think when we get it completely finished, it'll be really pleasant in here. When you have a tin roof, it gets quite hot underneath it. If you do not have some kind of insulation material, namely a ceiling between you and the roof, especially around noon. This is one of the problems in our other house. I don't know whether I told you, but I think I did. Putting up the ceiling in the kitchen made quite a bit of difference. Of course, it was only there about a week before it got blown away, but it made quite a bit of difference during the noon time when the sun really beat down. So we've been working on that, and we're trying to fill in our patio and get that done. Been hauling rocks and have to get some gravel to put in there, and also our Benjo, or water seal toilet, which I told you about, is I've got the hole all dug. I had to dig through or chop through about 2 feet of solid coral on the bottom. The pit is now about 5 feet deep, and Monday they're supposed to come down and put the toilet on. So we will then pour a cement slab around the toilet, and then use half of it for the toilet and half for the shower. So it'll be good to get that done. We had about 22 pieces of 2x4 by 14 feet long stolen when we were constructing our house, which put quite a damper on things. We were pretty upset about it for a while, and finally the mayor gave us some old 2x4s, which we used to finish the house with. These have not been located yet, although I think quite a few people here probably know, or some people at any rate know who did take them. So it was no great loss in the wood itself, just the idea that someone would steal the wood And of course that was before we were living here, and before anyone was here. And since we're in far into the village, it would be pretty easy for someone to come and here at night without any problem. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, March 23rd. You mentioned several things, particularly about the problem of labor and getting someone to work, and the parts are very accessible and very easy to buy, but you can't get anyone to put them in. And it's funny because the problem over here is not the labor so much, it's getting the materials you need, and just for the house. One of the problems we've had has been getting the materials, getting the tools, having to wait for stuff, getting the wrong thing. You get something that doesn't fit, you know, you're away from Guam, you're 40 miles away from Guam, you can't bring it back, can't do anything else. So, you know, the teacher's salary here starts off at 43 cents an hour. So that's, you know, that's pretty bad, and you can get anybody to work for you for about 50 cents an hour. When I hired the carpenter to help me, I paid him 75 cents an hour because he was kind of skilled labor. But I mean, even this is kind of ridiculous when you consider they can get the same. They can go to Guam and be making $2 or $2.25 or $2.50 an hour. The prices over there are outrageous too, just like they are in the States. We've finished putting up the screens in the bedroom and put the shutters on the inside, and so we're in pretty good shape. I want to get the doors on this weekend. That's what I'm going to work on today. And I have to make a bench and get the door on for the bathroom, and so we're going to be in pretty good shape here pretty soon. I've also been clearing out some of the trees. Not really trees, they're actually the scrubby, boony trees that grow in the coral soil out here, and been cutting those down so it improves our view a little bit too.
We're going to build one whole wall of our bedroom is going to be shelves and to keep our clothes on and things, and kind of desks. This will make life a lot easier. Now it's so hard. We get these letters, we put them in a box, and we forget about them. We mean to answer them right away, but we don't right then, and then we just forget. So we're going to have compartments where we can keep letters answered in business and things, and it should make us much more efficient and a lot easier to answer letters. Although this 10 cents a letter is really hurting us, you know. It adds up a little more quickly, and we are trying to correspond, you know, with people. We enjoy it. We enjoy hearing from people that we're fond of, and we like to tell people what we're doing if they're interested, you know. You asked about whether we had running water. We have running water now. Greg did it, put in the plumbing. Amidst a few swear words, we have a sink inside now and water running inside. We do not have electricity connected to our house. We have a cord going to another house that we run one thing at a time, so that we hope sometime to get electricity, but they have no cord and they haven't ordered any and they haven't got any money, and I don't know, it's a typical government mess. We just put in a water sealed toilet, which is a kind of cement bowl that you pour water down that makes a kind of seal so bugs aren't attracted. And we hope to build a little house for it. It's sort of in the open now with just a packing crate around it that we got from somebody that came here with all his goods in the packing crate, and we asked for the packing crate and got it. So we have running water inside our house. We have electricity coming from another house. And what else might we have? I bought a refrigerator when I was in Saipan. I didn't have to stay in the hospital. And although I was pretty tired, I got some shopping done, and I bought a little refrigerator that should be coming, and if we get electricity, we should be able to have a refrigerator again. It'll be nice to have things cold, although I've gotten pretty used to not having anything cold. It's been, let's see, it's been 5 months now since we've had a refrigerator, and I've gotten used to living without one and planning the food and everything so that we don't have one. But it is nice to, it is a kind of luxury that's really nice to have. And we you know, I just cook on the hot plate, and I do my wash. Usually I just heat up some water and then just wash my clothes, about 5 things at a time by hand, and put them out on the line to dry. So that's about how, I don't know what else to tell you about exactly how we're living. Our house, I think now we considered it pretty much finished. We still hope to get the doors on and get it without, so there isn't all this scrap. If I sit down here, Greg made a table for us, and he made me really nice counters for our kitchen. They're really just great. And we still have wood piled around, but the house is looking pretty nice. Much more. Greg's been playing baseball this afternoon, late this afternoon. They have some teams that they've started up, and so he's on one of the teams. Before that, he made a step coming into our house out of cement, so we now have a nice step. And then a couple days ago, we made the shower, made a cement flooring with a kind of drain hole that the water runs into, and we had a packing crate around our shower, which we had to take apart when we boarded the house up, and so we've now sort of nailed it back. It's a little more permanent and much nicer, so that things are going along. Right now, if you hear pounding, it's Greg putting the cements in for the last project. Putting the bricks in on the brick part of our floor. When we get it done, we'll take a picture and show you, so you'll have a pretty good idea of what it looks like. But we've gone down and gotten quite a few bricks from the cement, from the sugar mill here, which is made of brick, but it's a lot of work to get them and clean them and put them in, so we're kind of slow at it.
We're in much better shape here than we've ever been since we've been out in Micronesia. Saturday it'll be exactly 10 months since we left Fitchburg in Ashburnham, so that'll be quite something. But we're more comfortable now since we have the bathroom done. We have our house completely closed up, screened off, and we have a door from the inside going right into the bathroom on the side of the house, which makes it nice. But we have the house all screened in, and so that no mosquitoes or flies get in the house, and we can sleep without our mosquito net at night, which makes it very nice. I think the next group of slides will be very interesting that I'll be sending to you. They are of our house and of the sequential construction of it, or most of it, and this shows quite a few of the people who helped us, and will give you an idea of the view and exactly where the house is.